The reproduction of this content is not allowed without the express written consent of EBH Fitness, LLC.
I'm Dr. C. Victor Herbert III, and I'm taken to the house.
Yeah, do not adjust your TV sets. Do not adjust your camera. Do not adjust your device. Yeah, we're back. We're back. I'm Dr. Timothy Hoover, and we are taking it to the house. Brother, there's a lot happening, a lot going on. There's a reason why the NFL is king, because it's always hot. There's a lot of people that are missing after the Super Bowl are missing the NFL, but yet it's still relevant. We got free agency, and we're going to hit that in just a few minutes. But I got to talk about the brawl. And if you haven't seen it, don't know what I'm talking about, it's South Carolina women's against the LSU women's basketball, college basketball. The brawl. Let's start right there, brother. First, let me say this. Ladies, I get it. You got to defend your teammate. You got to, and for us guys, it'd be a testosterone thing. You know, you got to flex. You got to, and then you don't want to be punked. I get all that. But I'd rather that you just play basketball. That's what I want. Just play basketball. Don't let the antics, even on the court, don't let the antics outshine the game. I saw superior athleticism. I saw good basketball play. I saw a team beat another team and then try to beat another team. I say just play the game. I have been there, understand it, but I'm just, as a fan, I'd rather not see a fight on the basketball court. Vic, I toss it to you.
You know, we say Caitlin Clark who? You have Caitlin Clark out of Iowa, balling, breaking records, breaking Pete Maravich's record, but it gets trumped the same week because these girls want to go to blows. I mean, how about that? You don't think about women fighting in basketball. We're not talking about the WNBA. We're talking about college athletes, not just any college athletes, SEC ball. But not just regularly two SEC teams. LSU won a title last year. They had to go through South Carolina to do that. South Carolina, you know, that team that has been holding it down in women's basketball for the last 3 to 5. So that rivalry not only exists within the SEC, but the rivalry on the national stage. And to see that the women take it that seriously, that they're running through bodies literally to prove a point. Yes, South Carolina got the dub, but that's just the beginning. I know. We want to watch the game. I know we don't want to see all the antics. And at the end of the day, they're still amateur athletes, but you can't say they don't care. You can't say they don't have that passion. Like, what's mine is mine. I won this title. And South Carolina said, that's our title. And so from that part, I'm entertained. At the end of the day, I want you to entertain me. As you stated when we kicked it off, yes, pun intended, kicked it off. Football is not happening. So what's going to scratch my itch? Some level of contact. If the NBA ain't going to do it, then the WNBA ain't going to do it, then I'm going to turn to women's college basketball and give me what I asked for. So I loved it.
See, my co-host is entertained. And you know what? The other side of me, there's two sides to me. I say scrap the championship, the NCAA tournament. Scrap all that. Let them two play again tomorrow. Let them go again. Let them be the finals. I would pay premium price to see that game. I don't care. I don't know who's going to win the championship. I don't know. But I want to see them two play again. My partner, my co-host said clearly they care. Clearly they have passion. They're committed. They're committed to one another as teammates. But the opposition, there's a rivalry going on. There's some heat going on. So give the fans what they want. Are you not entertained? I was entertained. The other side of me was entertained. But as a dad, as a girl dad, I don't want to see my daughter scrapping. So you saw the two sides. You hear the two sides in me. Yes, I want it. No, I don't. Yes, I do. But no, I don't. In the end, let's have some good ball.
Yeah, I they say March Madness for a reason. It's leading up to every bit of that. And it's not too often that the casual fan can really gravitate toward women's basketball. And so for that to have some level of headlines, again, we talked about Caitlin Clark doing some great things. That's a bad woman right there. She is,
Yes.
Don't even say she is the Steph Curry of the WNBA of women basketball. She is Caitlin Clark. That's a bad woman right there. So there are some themes, there are some storylines going into, but we know, unfortunately, women's basketball or women's sports at the college level does not get enough support, visibility. And so for it, the most visibility come because they had a fight. That does put a bad mark on it. But I am excited that this basketball season, college basketball, is about to jump off of March Madness. And what a way to at least bring the fan attention into it to say, okay, hey, there's a possibility there may be a rematch. So from that, let's keep it going. I'm excited.
Let's keep our fingers crossed as we transition into the NFL. We got Kirk Cousins going to the Falcons. Got Josh Jacobs going to the Packers. We have Saquon Barkley going to Philadelphia. We have Russell Wilson going to the Steelers and Austin Eckler to the Commanders. And there's a lot of needle moving with those moves and more to come. And I haven't mentioned them all. But I wanted to talk about, which is your division, Russell Wilson going to the Steelers. He might be the fourth best quarterback in that division. I don't see him making that big of a difference. You got Lamar over there, Joe Burrow over there, and Deshaun Watson. I don't see Russ being that big of a deal. What I see, not him as an individual, but as a collective, he's got to help the collective. So that is going to be intense, but he's not in Kansas no more. It's going to be a brawl. It's going to be cold on some of those Sundays he's going to be playing, and it's no joke. And he ain't going to go to the steel curtain in the AFC, what's that, the North? And he's not going to go in there and punk nobody. Nobody cares about what shine you have, your history, or what you've been doing in the past. None of that. It's what you're doing for me today. Russell Wilson to the Steelers. I mentioned a few. What's on your radar? What crossed your mind, sir?
As you talked about Russell Wilson, yeah, that's the division of champs. He don't want this smoke. I don't know if he's ready for that. He's an NFC West guy that left from Seattle. He went to Denver, where he can be somewhat lost in obscurity. The expectation in Pittsburgh, the expectation in Steel Nation is something he hasn't faced yet. They overachieved in Seattle. Just think about it. Okay, yes, Pete Carroll put them on the match like Holmgren did. But the expectation year in and year out in that particular division belongs to the San Francisco 49ers. Let's just put that out there. The Rams won a couple, and then what else? It's about the freaking 49ers. It's their division. So good job, Seattle, for winning the title. But who's Arizona? So let's just understand that. Then you go to Denver. Who is Denver? Who has Denver been since John Elway and Peyton Manning left? Another team in obscurity, meaning the expectations, yes, why the local fans in Denver may have some high-level expectations, There's no national following of the Denver Broncos. And again, that division belongs to Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Kansas City Chiefs. So were they really thinking they were going to do something? And if it's not placed upon them as Kansas City, I would say the next best team with high expectations in the AFC West was the Los Angeles Chargers. We all want the Raiders to do something, but we know who the Raiders are. They are who we thought they were. So Denver and Russell Wilson signed his huge contract, whatever. Which brings me to my point. You don't want that smoke and expectations in the Steel Nation. A team, an organization that's rich in tradition, that doesn't make mistakes and makes and subscribes to excellence. You have a coach that, while they want to give him all this criticism, has not had a losing season while the 17 he's coached there. He's won a Super Bowl with Ben Roethlisberger and been there again with Ben, didn't win. So they had this little quarterback experience between Trubisky, Pickett, and some other no-name. So you brought in the name of Russell with the expectation that he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, albeit 10 years ago. Is he a Hall of Famer? Not after that stint he did in Denver. So I don't know if he's ready for that smoke. To see Baltimore 2 times a year, see Joe Burrow and the Bengals 2 times a year, and go against the Cleveland Browns 2 times a year. Every team in that division made it to the playoffs last year. So what are you going to do, Russell? Because over here, they eat you for lunch, partner. And so he needs to understand the game plan laid out for him, that they're a defensive team. And Ray Lewis said it years ago, playing for the Ravens. All we need is our quarterback to get us 14 points. We can take care of the rest. What you going to do, Russell? What are you going to do? They're going to have a new offensive coordinator. We already know defense, they're stellar. But what are they going to do in offense? So I don't know if he's ready for the expectation. I'd like to see what happens. I actually thought they'd go younger with Justin Fields, so I'm very interested. But who wouldn't pick him up? They got him for a very cheap price. That shows you how much Denver's like, you know what? We got an all-star quarterback with a Super Bowl winning coach. We don't want you. And look, Pittsburgh says, hey, why not? It's a good price. So it's interesting to see how that develops. But I don't know if he's ready for what the AFC North is bringing. I don't think he's built for that anymore.
I have a little compassion for Russell, and I mentioned this in the thread in the green room. 4 coaches in the last 4 years, 4 different coaches. He's going to his 4th coach in 4 years, and so that's hard. So the exception, Tom Brady, and then you got your boy down Matt Stafford down at the Rams, when they can go to an offensive coach and win the Super Bowl the very same year. Exceptions. That is not the rule. Matter of fact, Peyton Manning, his first year when he went to Denver, he didn't win it his first year, if I recall correctly. I think it was his second year when they won. So the Steelers are not even ready-made for the Super Bowl. They're not, because of all the things you listed out there in the AFC North, and you got to go through some beasts out there in the North. So, Russ, I feel sorry, bad, just a little bit, because some things you couldn't and cannot control. However, there are things that you can control, which is the narrative, how you're perceived, how your teammates look at you, how the organizations look at you. I shouldn't hear a lot of what I'm hearing, which is a lot of negative about you. My partner just talked about, why would a Super Bowl coach in Peyton really want to get rid of you, jettison you, matter of fact, hit the eject button on you, because he didn't see any value? Maybe. Does Peyton, Coach Sean Payton, does he know your value or your worth? Or maybe Pete Carroll knew your value or your worth. 2 coaches, Hall of Fame coaches, who said, I have no use for you. What does Tomlin see that these other 2 don't see or didn't see? No, maybe it's none of that at all because my partner said they don't have to pay a whole lot of money to take a chance on you. You got to be better than Rudolph or Pickett or whoever else they have signed, Trubisky. You got to be better than them. You got to be, but you're cheap, and so why not roll the dice? So right now, Russell, you can control the narrative. You can show the world, with given a clean blank slate, who you are. And they said your record will show who you are. The record sometimes is reflective of the quarterback play. Well, they went to the playoffs last year. Okay? You cannot do no less than that. And you're going to have to beat up. You're going to have to face the Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals, and you're going to have to. Those are 6 games. You need to come out of those at least 500, and then beat everybody else. Do your best to beat everybody else, but you're going to have to face those other teams in your division. And I tell you, my partner said it's not knocker time. Okay, it's hit you and pick your thingling up off the dirt. Okay, because they're going to hit you. It's not going to be coming out on those cold, frigid days when you can barely grip the ball. They were just talking about some of those fans that went to the who was it? The Miami and Chiefs game that are getting amputated toes. Okay, so it's going to be like that, dog. It's going to be like that. Russ, control what you can control. The other things that you can't control, you can't worry about it. But do your best. And I'm wishing you luck. I'm not a hater. I'm wishing the best.
Yeah, great point. I think the other move, I mean, there's a couple of moves. But I look at teams that were impactful last year that were surprising. Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love. You're telling me you're getting Josh Jacobs? Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't see that coming. Yeah. And with Minnesota losing Kirk Cousins, hey, Green Bay is that team again in the NFC North. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize, Detroit. I don't really need to disrespect you. However, that should be a very, very exciting division next year between Green Bay and Detroit. But the upgrade with the running back,
yes.
Ooh, it's Christmas in March.
That's a good point. That was the other move that really caught me off guard. Like you said, didn't see it coming, but wow. Just on paper alone, a significant upgrade, and the Packers are not to be pumped. Okay, Detroit, you will have to bring it to them. And so I'm looking forward to the black and blue division, man. You know, we talk about the Packers, we talk about the Bears, we talk about the Lions. Josh Jacobs, he has been known to prone to injury. And so I just need him to be healthy. They already got 2 significant backs. I don't even know what they did with their backs that are already up there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Or are they going to get rid of one of those other backs as well? So, or is it going to be backed by committee up there? Jordan Love surprised a whole lot of people in the quarterback play. They went to the NFC final conference final and should have won. So they exceeded expectations this year, and now there's going to be a lot put on their shoulders. Heavy is the crown, as they say. So let's see how that crown fits and what they wear the crown this year coming, with people knowing full well what Jordan Love is capable of and their wide receivers.
Yeah, definitely. So, all of the season and off season, or during the regular season, there's debate on the value of the running back. So I am happy to see these running backs having a chance and getting out to the open market and finding new homes. Did I think Oakland was going to lose Josh Jacobs? No, but Josh said last year, I want to be an Oakland Raider. It's just unfortunate where Oakland said, well, we don't think so. We're not going to pay the price. Okay, no problem. Guess what? I will lose from a perennial losing team and go to Green Bay. I bet Devontae Adams wish he stayed in Green Bay. So For Josh Jacobs got to land on his feet. That's great. Saquon Barkley. You don't see it typically trading within the division. So to watch the Giants when I trade a free agent, to watch out all the teams that could have picked up Saquon Barkley, how the Eagles was able to get him. How did the Giants even allow that to happen? So that'd be good because he's a solid back, as you said. He's also prone to injury. But I thought that the running back for the Eagles did a great job last year, Swift. Right. So it's always interesting. They do bring in somebody. It's like, wow, are you saying we're going to do this committee thing? Did you just lose your starting spot? Because Saquon's not a backup. He still has a lot more miles left on his legs. So that was interesting. Very surprised at Austin Ekeler. I wouldn't go to the Commanders with the 10-foot pole. I look at the Commanders as the NFC East version of the Chicago Bears. Like, what have you done? They just fired a coach. Eric Bieniemy didn't realize he got released. So pretty much Austin comes with a great experience and a productivity in Los Angeles to a team that doesn't even know their identity. So I question why he would choose that organization to go to versus so many others that could definitely benefit his talent. Washington could be the place where running backs' dreams die. So I think there's more to follow on that one.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing to be wanted. You want to be wanted. And so clearly Los Angeles did not want him at that price. And so the Commanders were willing to take him on. So go somewhere where you're wanted. And hopefully, I guess you think, and you and I can't think like they do. We're thinking we're stars, we're always stars, and you're going to be a star in everywhere you go. Well, they're also looking at the business side. And me and you, as fans, we don't look at the business side. He has a short shelf life, and he may as well get the money while he can. So Barry Sanders walked away. Jim Brown walked away. You want to be able to walk away versus limp away. So make all the money you can make. Ekeler, your boy from the Tennessee Titans, Henry. He's been abused. Yeah, Derrick Henry. Be able to get away. Make your money and then walk away and consider it, okay, shake hands. Thank you, NFL. I got my name on a billboard. Thank you. You paid me well. Walk away. I do want to transition, brother, before we close, quickly into the NBA. Our producer says, man, the LA market is tapped out. Guess what? There's some people that don't like us talking about our LA market and maybe including our producer. But you know what? We're going to tell our producer, close his ears, okay? Because the Lakers had a very good weekend, and I wanted to talk about it briefly. They beat up on the Bucks on Friday, and yesterday they beat up on Minnesota. Yeah, they're holding down the 9th spot, but they're trying to make a move, and they need a lot of help. That's all I wanted to say. Now you can unplug your ears, Mr. Producer. But thank you. What I really wanted to talk about with the NBA, and I didn't get a chance to last week, was talk about the NBA All-Star. You need to get rid of it. It's ugly. It's a waste of time. Slam dunk contest, get rid of it. The most watched event was the three-point contest, not the contest where Lillard won, but when Steph Curry was competing against old girl. And so that was the most watched event, and it got a lot of views. And so when the NBA players don't take the game serious, why should I? And so this is my event. This is my NBA. This is my sport. But clearly the players don't take it serious. They don't want to play defense. 200 points in a game. Need to quit, need to stop. And so I can only imagine corporate as well as the commissioner, everybody. I didn't like it. Poor product. And if it's like this again, I won't watch the NBA All-Stars. I'll be done with it. I didn't know if you had a take on the NBA at all, sir, before we wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll say the last time the NBA All-Star game was relevant was the 90s. when we had star players doing the dunk contest. Even the dunk contest is overplayed. I mean, how many times you going to see? I want to see realistic dunks, not jumping over someone's head, grabbing the ball. There's certain things. Just dunk the damn ball and make it exciting. But how many more dunks can you do? It's been going on for 40 plus years. I think it's time to put it away. They can easily say, hey, these are their all-star mentions, and you don't need to play the game because what are you getting out of it? I like how they reformatted a couple years ago to pay homage to Kobe, name one the playoff, the MVP after Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. I got that nostalgic. How do we how do we make this a legendary? But the product, as you stated, how can you? It's like the NFL's Pro Bowl. How do you make it exciting? I'm not watching that. So I'd rather they just do another in-season tournament if that's the case, and now make the in-season tournament all-star players so that they will play and make it count towards something. If you do that, I'll turn in, because now what if those players, if the East wins versus the West, like baseball does, now they get home court advantage. What if it's now, how these teams they perform, they get certain points towards the overall, kind of like they did with the IST tournament. I mean, make it worth something. I don't need you to do the slam dunk contest. I don't need this 3-point contest. Just make sure this game of all-stars is played with a level of competition that I watch them ball out. Because they also got to understand, if I get injured, was it worth it? If you make it monetized and worth it, where that goes towards their team's respective record or their seeding, for the playoffs, then I think you get a little bit more buy-in. Just shake it up, Dave, Adam. Shake it up. You've done a lot of great things, but this right here, it's on life support. How do you resurrect it?
Life support, bruh. We given it paddles already. We told it to clear. It's a very 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 slight bleep on the little screen there. So I think it's really dead, honestly. But we're just sustaining it. Good call. Life support. You called it. We're gonna wrap it up here, brother. I just wanted to say my last take. Measles. There's an outbreak of measles in the Northeast and a little bit on the Northwest. And so why is that a big thing? Well, if you never had it, it could be awful. And as an adult, if you've never had measles, it becomes shingles, it becomes a problem. And so painful. What am I doing? What am I talking about? Let's be careful. If you're sick, stay home again. If you need to be diagnosed, go to the hospital, go to the ER, please get it looked at, and then isolate so it doesn't proliferate, so it doesn't become a contagion where we're going to have a problem. COVID is here. COVID is not going anywhere. Flu season, it's about to should be wrapped up already, right? Flu season. But RSV is still around. So all of these things can be controlled. How? It's really, again, if something is wrong with you, get your medical diagnosis, get the treatment that you need, stay home, don't go to work, push through it, don't go to church, push through it. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your community. And that's Dr. Tim, co-host of Taking It to the House. And I'm out.
Thank you very much for that public service announcement. Just to hear the word measles and mumps and rubella, all these things that we usually get vaccinations for, how the heck is this thing back? But appreciate that. I know my shot's up to date, so my kids. I do want to say, special happy birthday to a special young lady. That is right, lady, my daughter. Turned 16, was able to celebrate her all weekend. She is my light. She is my life. She is my heart. And I want to tell her happy birthday, Daddy loves you. Also, special shout out to my resident LA native spokesperson, as well as one of our social media content experts for Taking It to the House, my brother-in-law / cousin, Theo Matthews. Happy birthday, my brother. Love you. Continue doing what you do. Continue being an impact here within the family and on the show. So thank you very much. Take to the house. Listen up. We back. You hear all that? You hear all that? Because I'm a proud nephew too. Proud nephew of my nephew, Nathaniel Nate Myers, handling business on the wrestling mat. It's wonderful. I've learned so much about that sport over the last few weeks, is watching him get at it. 8th grade, coming soon to a school near you. Watch this cat. He's on point. But on top of that, team, it's great to be back. A lot's happened in our world, a lot happened in our space, but this is a safe space. Awesome to serve here with my co-host and my uncle, Tim, and always great to work with our producer, Steve. It's great to see everybody. Catch us on our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Insta, all that good stuff. Or not Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, the X. At the end of the day, we here and we back. Take care. Take it to the house. I'm Dr. Stephen Herbert III. I'm out.